lovely people, how are you? My name is Tsungie. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this lovely stitch here. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and turn your notification bell. Okay, let's just get right into it. Alright, so to begin we're going to do a slip knot. So to do that I'm going to take my yarn, just let it rest on my fingers like this. This is the short part, and I'm going to take, we're using just 2 fingers. I'm going to take the other yarn, this one, I'm going to wrap it down, then I'm going to wrap it going upwards to form an X, then I'll go down again, then I'll hold this one and this one together here, just at the bottom here. So you kind of have like an X here, and if you turn it you have 2 parallel lines on this side. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to take this one that's like, if it's like sideways, this one that's like in front, I'm going to just push it to the back like this. So once I push it to the back, I'm going to now hold this one, the one in front. So when I hold that one, I'm just going to release my fingers from there, right? I'm going to hold my 2 yarns, these ones, and I'll just pull like this. So that's how you do a slip knot. So if this was too fast for you, please check my slip knot video where I showed you 6 different ways of doing a slip knot, right? So after that I'm going to chain. So let my yarn hang on this finger, and I just hold it in place with this small finger. If you're a beginner, maybe wrapping your yarn on this, on one finger, on this one, right, can also work, but for me I just let it rest on this finger. I just hold it in place with a small finger. So with this finger and this finger I'm going to hold my part, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to chain. So I'm going to move forward, I'm going to go up a little bit, turn my hook to face down, and I'm going to move backwards, and that is what we call chaining. And I'm holding my hook like a knife, like, right? I'll do one more time. Move my hook forwards, go up a little bit, right, turn my hook to face down, and move backwards like this. That is what we call chaining. So I'm going to chain for this stitch. You can chain any number of stitches that you want. So for this demonstration I'm going to chain 15. So let me do it off camera and I come back. Right, so I ended up chaining 20 stitches. That's fine, right? So this is the step 2. So now what I'm going to do, I'll be working in my V's here. So a V here, that V here, that's are my stitches. So now I'm working in this back loop here only. So let me take off my hook. So this is my V, right? V. So I'm working in this loop of the V, the back loop of the V, this loop. So these are the loops that I'm going to be working in. Let me put my hook back in, right? So I'm going to skip the first V, the first stitch, and I'll work in the second one. So I'm going to insert my hook into that back loop like that. So if you hold your thing horizontal, vertically like this, it's kind of like easy to work in. So I'm going to grab my yarn, pass it through so that I have 2 loops. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to slip stitch this one into this one like this, right? So I'm going to work in the next back loop, which is this one here. So insert my hook in there, grab my yarn, pass it through, and I'm going to, after I pass it through, I'm going to slip stitch this one into this one like this, right? So if I hold my thing horizontally, it's just easier for me to be working in these loops here. So I'm just going to hold it horizontally, insert my hook, grab my yarn, slip stitch, insert my hook into the next loop, grab my yarn, and slip stitch, insert my hook into the next stitch like this, grab yarn, pass it through so that you have 2 loops, and slip stitch like this. So I'm going to do that for the rest of the stitch and I come back. Right, so I've reached the end of my line. So once I get to the end of my line, I'm going to chain 1. So chain, grab my chain 1 like this, right? So instead of flipping my thing like this, I'm just going to be working like I did in the previous stitch. You're not turning as such, you're just working in it, right? So I'm going to skip this one, and you're kind of like working from the second stitch like here, and I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop again. Okay, let me take out my hook so that I show you where we're working now. So we're now working in these V's here. That's my new stitches that I'll be working in. So right, let me put my hook back in. So in the back loop, this one, I'm going to insert my hook in there like this. Then I'm going to grab my yarn. After I grab my yarn, I'm going to slip stitch. Right, insert my hook into the back loop again, grab my yarn and slip stitch. Insert my hook into the back loop, in the next black back loop, grab some yarn and slip stitch. So for this stitch, it works best if you keep your stitches quite loose, so don't make them tight. Right, so that's what I'll be doing, just putting my hook into the back loop and slip stitching. One more time, insert my hook into the back loop, right, grab my yarn, pass it through, right, to form my loop, and now I'm going to slip this one into this one like this. Right, so as you're doing that, you're creating another stitch here. Right, so let me do it some more. Then I just want to show you something, a pattern that we're creating right now. Right now you can't really see it, but right, I don't know if you can see it. Yes, you can see it. Yeah, so the previous stitch that we did in this one, you've already created like this garter stitch here, this one here. Right, so as I continue to do that, so let me continue to do that until I get to the end of my stitch. So I've gotten to the end, and as always, when we get to the end, we chain one, like this. Then we start again. So we're just repeating that, slipping into the, putting our hook into the, sorry, I grabbed what I'm not supposed to. We're working from the second stitch, so we skip this one, working from the second stitch, put our hook into the back loop, and we're going to slip stitching. So that's all that we're going to be doing. If you hold it vertically like this, it's easy, but for you guys to see what I'm doing, so I'm putting in the back loop, grab my yarn, then I slip stitch into the back loop, grab my yarn, and I slip stitch into the back loop, grab my yarn, pass it through, and slip stitch. Right, so that's all that I'm going to be doing. I don't want to make this video big, so I'm going to do a time lapse where I'm showing you that I'll show you me crocheting, and then it will be growing. Because let me quickly do that. So I've gotten to the end, and as always, when we get to the end, we chain one, like this. Then we start again. So we're just repeating that, slipping into the, putting our hook into the, sorry, I grabbed what I'm not supposed to. We're working from the second stitch, so we skip this one, working from the second stitch, put our hook into the back loop, and we're going to slip stitching. So that's all that we're going to be doing. If you hold it vertically like this, it's easy, but for you guys to see what I'm doing, so I'm putting in the back loop, grab my yarn, then I slip stitch into the back loop, grab my yarn, and I slip stitch into the back loop, grab my yarn, pass it through, and slip stitch. Right, so that's all that I'm going to be doing. I don't want to make this video big, so I'm going to do a time lapse where I'm showing you that I'll show you me crocheting, and then it will be growing. So let me quickly do that. Yes, I've done a couple of stitches, and you can see the garter stick So you can see the garter stitch here, and there's like a border around it. In my opinion, there's one side that looks prettier. In this case, it's this side where you can see the garter stitch quite nicely. Then you've got your border around it, right? So if you continue to do that, your pattern will pop out more. So this will, I'm just at the end of my stitch, I've chained one. So you're just going to repeat that and repeat doing that until your thing grows. Nothing more to it. You're just working in your back loop, and yeah, you continue doing that until your pattern grows, right? Another nice thing about this is that it's straight, so it's perfect for bags, or I think it's pretty. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this stitch. I hope you enjoyed doing this stitch with me. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe and turn your notification bell. See you in my next video. Thank you so much. Okay, bye bye.